everyone, my name is Haley and welcome back or welcome to my channel. So, for today's video, I wanted to do the end of the year book tag. It's not quite the end of the year yet, but I think the last video that I want to put up in the year, or the first video I want to put up for the new year, is my yearly reading wrap-up and a 5-star wrap-up. So I wanted to get this video out of the way first. My shelves are kind of a mess behind me, like they're a little bit ugly right now, but that's because I'm in the process of moving. I am going to be moving back to my childhood home in the beginning of January, so I'm slowly starting to pack away all of my stuff. So the background is not as cute as it was when I first started this channel, but that's what we're working with. I definitely want to do like a moving vlog slash new reading area slash new bookshelves video when that time comes, so look forward to that. Also, I just wanted to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I don't know how it happened, but thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you that clicked that button and continues to watch my videos. But enough with me rambling, let's just get into the book tag. I have the tag on my phone, so I'm going to be reading off of it. I'm not exactly sure who started this tag, but I am on Green Tea and Paperback's page on WordPress. That's where I'm getting the questions from. The first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? And I would show you, but I'm currently using them as the stand for my tripod, so I can't necessarily show you those ones, but I do have multiple books that I started this year that I haven't finished yet, so I'll go ahead and grab the other ones too. Okay, I don't know if this is like super chaotic or not, but I currently have 6 books that I need to finish before the year is over, so I'm just going to talk about those briefly. So the first book is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I think I'm literally halfway through. I'm on chapter 12, page 156. I really enjoy this book, and I'm saying it in the present tense because I haven't finished it yet. I really enjoyed Sorcery of Thorns, but when I started this was before my like multiple month-long reading slump, so I just didn't have any desire to pick it up again, and that's not because of the writing or the book, that's just because of me. I'm the type of person that will cycle through my hobbies months at a time, so I could be obsessed with reading for like 4 months and then be obsessed with playing video games for 4 months and then be obsessed with watching movies. Like, a lot of my hobbies never overlap, so it's difficult for me to stick with something when I'm not in the mood. And that's what happened with this book, but I really want to finish it. I'm excited to see how the story ends. I think Margaret Rogerson does great fantasy standalones, and I bought Vespertine from Target and I shipped it to my grandma's house so that I wouldn't have more things to pack here. So that will be waiting for me in the new year, so I definitely want to knock this off of my list before the year is over. The second book is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I am on chapter 17, page 81. So really not that far into it. I really enjoy it so far, but I was reading more face-to-face, like fast-paced rom-coms when I picked this up. If you don't know, this is about a girl named Tiffy and a guy named Leon, and Tiffy moves into Leon's apartment and they basically share the space, but he's never home when she's there and she's never home when he's there. So they don't have any face-to-face interactions yet, they're just talking through notes, and I really enjoy it so far. I love the idea, but I just wasn't super excited to pick it up again once I stopped reading it. But romance is a quick read for me usually, and it would be really easy to knock it off of my list, so I guess I will hopefully finish this by the end of the year. I think in December I'm not going to pick up any new books. I'm probably just gonna finish all the ones that I've started so far. Okay, for the next book, this is the end of the ones that I can show you, and then I'll talk about the other 3 that I'm using as my tripod stand. But that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. As you can see, I'm tabbing this book, and I am on page... Well, I finished part 1 I'm at part 2, chapter 9, and that is on page 187. And I'm really not that far into it. I don't know if you can see, but this is all I've read so far. There's no reason why I haven't finished this. I think it's because, well, actually there is a reason. I don't know why I said that. I think when I started this, I also discovered my love for romance books, and that kind of overshadowed my high fantasy kick that I was on. So I kind of just put this on the back burner and started reading a lot of rom-coms, and then I haven't really delved back into high fantasy since then, and I definitely want to finish this because I want to get through the whole series. I definitely want to read his other books. I really enjoyed Skyward by him, which was science fiction, and I also bought Wheel of Time, which is waiting for me at my grandma's house, and I feel like I need to have at least one Brandon Sanderson book under my belt before I dive into the world of Wheel of Time. I think another reason why I stopped this was because the first part is really building the world and getting to know the magic system and the characters, and I think Brandon Sanderson does a great job of that. I just was getting a little bit bored and I just wasn't in the mood anymore, but I hopefully will finish this by the end of the year. Okay, now in the stack that you can't see, I'll put a picture right here. I have Fury Born by Claire Legrand. I'm not exactly sure how to say her last name. I'm pretty sure I'm only like 50 pages through this book. I picked it up when I finished, what book did I finish when I started this? Oh, okay, I think I picked it up when I finished The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, because I wanted more like YA fantasy and not high fantasy. So I only started it like a week ago, but it's taking me a little while to get through. I know people love it, but it is a chunky book and I have other things that I'm splitting my time between, so I'm not far enough into it to really give an opinion about it. I just haven't been putting it on the top of my priority list. And then next we have Dune, which I'm hoping to finish this month because I really want to watch the movie. I am on part 2, which I think is page 256. It's honestly like a quick read. You just have to pay attention, and it's definitely like a mood book for me. I can't read it every day. I have to be in the mood to read it, but I am really enjoying it. I was filming a reading vlog. I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue it because it's literally over like 3 weeks. So let me know if you want to see that still, but I definitely want to finish that by November, or by the end of November. And then I have Crave by Tracy Wolf, I think. I'm listening to that on audio. I also have the physical copy. I think I'm almost halfway through. I'm kind of just reading the first one so I can get to the rest of them, because a lot of people say the rest of the series is a lot better. It's just honestly the first one's not doing it for me. And then the last book that I'm currently reading is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. I'm definitely gonna finish that this year. I really want to finish it before December. I just don't know if that's feasible. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I love the writing style. I love how atmospheric it is. I love that it's gonna be what seems to be enemies to lovers. It's just setting up to be a really fun read, and I don't know too much about it yet. The main character just got married off, which is not a spoiler. It's like in the beginning of the book, but I'm excited to see what else happens, and hopefully I enjoy it and I pick up the rest of the series. But again, like Furyborn, I haven't read enough to form a full-fledged opinion on it. It's just something that I'm enjoying, and I definitely want to finish by the end of this month or December. That was literally only the first question, and I had so much to say, so I'm sorry about that. But I don't know how to finish books. I just start them and I never finish them. So quite chaotic, I say. Alright, the next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? This is not autumnal. It is horror though, and I feel like the end of the year and horror kind of go hand in hand even when it's not October anymore. But that book is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I've heard so many great things about this book, and I would love to read it before the year is over. I feel like this could be a great January read as well, so I'm not really fixed on that idea, but it's less than 300 pages, or it's just about 300 pages, and I feel like this is gonna be really good, and so I really want to get to it before the end of the year. I guess I'll read you the back, because I honestly don't know too much what it's about. I just know that people love it. I kind of like to go into my books a little bit blind and not know what's going on. So the back says, a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. Seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. Doesn't that just sound amazing? It's vague enough where you don't really know what is gonna happen, and it's like the perfect movie trailer where it doesn't give too much away and you're enticed and you really want to watch the movie or read the book. And then number 3, is there a new release that I'm still waiting for? I think the one that I'm looking forward to that's already out, because I am going to do a separate video on my most anticipated 2022 releases, but for a book that's already out that I do not currently have in my possession that I want to read, is Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Ziran J. Zhao? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but it's a new fantasy release, I think. Sci-fi? It's either fantasy or sci-fi or a mix of both, but it seems very interesting. I will go and pull up the synopsis on Goodreads. The boys of Huazia, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing things. The boys of Huazia dream of pairing up with girls to pilot chrysalises, giant transforming robots that can battle the mecha aliens that lurk beyond the Great Wall. It doesn't matter that the girls often die from the mental strain. When 18-year-old Zedian offers herself up as a concubine pilot, it's to assassinate the ace male pilot responsible for her sister's death. But she gets her vengeance in a way nobody expected. She kills him through the psychic link between pilots and emerges from the cockpit unscathed. She is labeled an Iron Widow, a much feared and much silenced kind of female pilot who can sacrifice boys to power up chrysalises instead. To tame her unnerving yet invaluable mental strength, she is paired up with Li Shimin, the strongest and most controversial male pilot in Huazia. But now that Zedian has had a taste of power, she will not cower so easily. She will miss no opportunity to leverage their combined might and infamy to survive attempt after attempt on her life, until she can figure out exactly why the pilot system works in its misogynist way, and stop more girls from being sacrificed. Hello, I'm editing this video right now, and I just looked up a YouTube video of the author of Iron Widow talking about the characters, and so I heard her pronounce the names and the location, so I'm going to try and emulate that as best as I can. So it takes place in Huaxia. The main female protagonist's name is Zetian, and the male love interest name is Shamin. If that doesn't sound like the most badass thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is. So I'm super excited to read that. It seems like such an interesting plot line. I don't think I've read anything like that before. I'm very excited to read it. The next question. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Probably any of the ones that I haven't finished yet. Like I said, I feel like December is going to be the month where I just finish books I've started and I don't start anything new. Maybe one on my Kindle would be The Bridge Kingdom 2. I think it's called The Traitor Queen. I definitely want to get to that, but it's not gonna be high on my priorities. So for that answer, I'm just gonna say 3 books that I've already started. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I don't think it's a shock because I do think I'll really enjoy A Winter's Promise, and I'm prepared to really enjoy it, and Dune as well. I feel like those 2 could definitely be 5-star reads. I'm just a little bit unsure about the rest of them, so I guess any of them are contenders if they end up being 5 stars and I wasn't expecting it. But books that I think will be really good is A Winter's Promise and Dune. I'm sorry, I'm just like recycling answers, but I don't really have a lot of books left to get to this year because I've kind of planned out what I want to read and everything like that, so sorry if this is a little bit boring. And then the last question, have you already started making reading plans for 2022? I have not yet. I have some new releases in 2022 that I really want to read, but I don't have any plans for what I'm reading when, because when the new year starts I'm moving and that's going to be taking up all of my time and energy. So I don't think January is going to be a really big reading month for me, but you know, that could change. I don't really have any plans, honestly. I do want to try and read the books that I've had on my shelf for the longest and get through a good chunk of books that I own before I start buying more. That is exempt from a Barnes & Noble Cyber Monday sale because I am taking full advantage of that. Let me know if you want to see a video on like what I buy on Cyber Monday if I end up getting anything. I feel like that could be really fun. No concrete plans. I just want to go into the new year and see what sounds good when and not really hold myself to a strict TBR. So I guess my reading plan is no plan. Alright, those were all of the questions for the end of the year book tag. I hope it wasn't too boring even though I only talked about the same like 10 books. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know if any of the books I mentioned you have already read and what you thought about them, or if you're planning to read them and what you're most excited for. I love to know people's opinions on books that I'm currently reading or want to read. Let me know what kind of videos you also want to see from my channel. I have a lot of ideas that I really want to get to in the new year once I'm all settled and I have access to all of my books again. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. I'm really active on TikTok. You can follow me there at Read by Haley. You can follow my Instagram, Read by Haley, and then my Twitter, which is Read by Haley. I'll have them linked down below if you want to follow me. But I hope you're all staying safe and I hope you're all reading amazing books, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!